What's going on, everybody, and welcome to Wrestlemania 28. Very shiny logo here that we have. Also, this is the last Wrestlemania that I saw 100% live. At least I'm pretty sure this is the last one I saw 100% live. I'm pretty sure it is. Yeah, this was April 1st, 2012. So this was basically the last year that I lived in my parents' house. Obviously, I was in college at the time, but I had formally moved to Norfolk this summer. And yeah, after I moved to Norfolk, I didn't really have the chance or the opportunity to really watch a lot of wrestling. I lived with my significant other at the time, and she was not a fan, so there really wasn't a lot of wrestling in my house. And also, I wasn't really a big fan of the last few events that I saw, when it was Raw or the pay-per-views or whatnot. This WrestleMania, I didn't really enjoy it very much either when I watched it live, so I was kind of done with wrestling after this, and I didn't really watch again until sporadically throughout the years. And Rob, my Tito, actually, the one who does these reviews with me, he ended up moving in and kind of got me back into wrestling a little bit, to a degree. NXT was coming up in the mid 2010s, and he was a big NXT guy, so that kind of got me back into it a little bit. I watched some of WrestleManias when they were on, some pay-per-views when they were on, but never sat down and watched them from start to finish. That didn't start back up again until a few years ago. So yeah, was really, the whole project's been really exciting for me. Obviously, I've watched a lot more than just 28. I'm actually towards the end of 35 now. And it's been really fun seeing the WrestleManias that I missed and the WrestleManias that I didn't get to see. And seeing the little snippets that I had seen of these matches and of these events, actually seeing them kind of out of context, because I don't have like the story context to them. I do try to look up the stories between the matches, but generally it's been fun to see kind of the evolution again and getting towards the modern roster that I'm used to now, and seeing the debuts of people that I'm used to seeing on a regular basis now, seeing them in these events. So that's been my favorite part of this project, and you get to see that a lot over the next few WrestleManias, but not this one. This one I do remember watching live. So we're going to get to WrestleMania 28. Rob's card is on the side there. Of course, my ratings 10 through 9 is an A, 8 and 7 is a B, 6 through 4 is a C, 3, 2 is a D, 1, O is an F. So let's jump right in. 2, Sheamus versus Daniel Bryan, who was the champion at the time for the World Heavyweight Championship. Unsure why the World Heavyweight Championship was the opener until the bell rang, and Sheamus beat him in 18 seconds. Story-wise, it made sense. Nice to see AJ Lee and Daniel Bryan on my screen, but they're gone before I can enjoy them. This is the first time that you see them. AJ gives Daniel Bryan a good luck kiss, bro kick out of nowhere, and that's it. That's the match. It's over. 1 out of 10. You guys know how I feel about squash matches. I hate them. I understand that sometimes they have a point, but as far as rating the matches, there's no way to give a squash match with no sustenance anything above a 1. So we are off to a resounding start here, ladies and gentlemen. A 1. As you can see, Rob agrees with me, gave this match an F, so a 1 is where it's going to be. Next up, we have Kane versus Randy Orton. The crowd started this match cold and very angry from the opening bullshit. They were already big fans of Daniel Bryan. He's always been a fan favorite since he came onto the scene. And there really wasn't much to say about the first 5 minutes. Decent work, nothing of note. Crowd kind of wakes up when Orton hits the mid-rope DDT, kind of his signature DDT mid-rope move. It's interesting to see Orton in a match with no RKO and Kane actually getting a one-on-one WrestleMania win. I'm not sure if that's happened so far. Kane usually doesn't get the wins on one-on-one matches, and also a lot of WrestleManias. He's been in triple threats, he's been in tag matches, or he loses. So it was pretty nice to see him get a one-on-one win. Very odd to see Randy Orton not hit an RKO. Again, wasn't 100% sure of the story on this match. Overall, second half was a lot of fun and exciting. I actually really enjoyed the back and forth. I gave this match a 6 out of 10. The beginning was bad. Randy didn't seem to be super motivated in this match. He just kind of seemed to be going with the flow. I don't even know if Honestly, I don't even know if they had a story going in it. This seemed like it was just a fuck it, we gotta find a reason to get these two on the card, and so this is what they came up with. Randy didn't seem to care. Kane enjoyed the win, 6 out of 10. As you can see over there, Rob agrees with me, gave this match a 6 out of 10 as well, so that is where these two are going to go. Next up, we have Big Show versus Cody Rhodes, who is the champion coming in for the Intercontinental title. It's nice to see big ol' happy face Big Show. I really do enjoy face Big Show. He has always been great with the kids. He's always been great with the crowds when he's a face. His matches are usually a little bit better when he's the face. Love to see him kind of giving kids his oversized beanies and stuff like that. Was pretty cool. It's a new twist of the character to compare to him either being the heel or being in a gimmick match where it's hard to say whether he's being a face or a heel. You've seen him in the Floyd Mayweather match. You've seen him in the sumo match. All the different gimmick matches that he's had to be in non-WrestleMania pay-per-views. Not too much to say about the match, though. It's a 5-minute match. Cody comes out the gate. Big Show dominates for a bit before Cody comes back into play for a spell. And then he gets knocked by the WMD punch. Really isn't a whole lot here. It's an okay match. And honestly, it really seemed like it was just for Big Show to finally get his WrestleMania moment. He won the Intercontinental title. He was able to celebrate in front of the fans as a face. But this match is a 4 out of 10. Based on my research, also Cody ended up winning the title right back the next pay-per-view. So, yeah, literally just for Big Show to have his moment, which is completely fine from a story perspective, but the match was meh. As you can see, Rob agrees with me on both accounts. Gave this match a C-, was extremely happy for Big Show. It was great to see Big Show get his moment, but the match itself wasn't grand. So, 4 out of 10. Next up, we have Kelly and Maria Menounos versus Beth Phoenix and Eve Toros. Beth and Eve are once again taking care not to hurt Maria. She's a celebrity from Dancing with the Stars. Also, turns out she was doing this with a cracked rib that she cracked on Dancing with the Stars, which is ironic because you would figure that they'd be more worried about them getting hurt in this, but it was the opposite, which was, I don't want to say it's an interesting twist, because that's kind of fucked up, but it's an interesting change to the dynamic, if you will. You could really tell they were trying to be really careful with her, which kind of prevented them from really being able to do anything. Also, she's a celebrity. She still wanted to do this match, so all power to her, but it meant Beth and Eve could effectively do nothing. Kelly isn't good at wrestling, and once again, the two who should have fought in this match are teaming up. I think that Eve Torres and Beth Phoenix could have put on a great match, and once again, we have yet to reach the Divas Revolution to where Divas matches are taken seriously. It's just a chance to get them on the card, I guess, so that's good, but otherwise, this match is just kind of here. Instead, we got 6 minutes, relative, weak wrestling, celebrity beating Beth Phoenix via a roll-up pin, which should never happen. I gave this match a 2 out of 10. Rob agrees, D, 2 out of 10. That is where it is going. I'm unsure if Rob meant to give it a 3 or a 2, but we'll stick with a 2, because I don't think it's any way it could be any more than that. Next up, we have Undertaker versus Triple H with Shawn Michaels as guest referee in a Hell in a Cell. The conclusion of a 4-year story, as we said last time. This was an odd formula match here, because normally, especially with Triple H matches, you have slow, plodding, methodical beginnings that lead to fast-paced and conclusive second halves. This was the opposite. It was extremely fast-paced in the beginning. Both men are throwing everything at each other in the first half, and then they slow down in the second half, and that's where it starts to get very methodical, and that's where all the wear and tear of the last 3 matches and the first half of this match start to show on both parties. Lots of weapons and moves and damage dealt set up an intense, suspenseful, emotional, and sometimes almost uncomfortable second 15 minutes. Shawn looked like he was going to have a heart attack, and honestly it looked like the poor man needed a cigarette out of stress on the side. The iconic Sweet Chin music into a pedigree, the constant drama of Shawn fighting with himself to end the match during both control segments where Triple H was beating on Undertaker and then Undertaker reversed it and started beating on Triple H. Shawn wanted to call the match, but he knew that neither one of them would forgive him if he did. It was great storytelling involved there. The conclusion of Triple H telling Taker he's going to have to end him when he was just going to lay down. It wasn't just going to lay down. It was amazing. The respect shown at the end of the match with all three of them leaned on each other, walking out of the arena together. The end of an era, kind of, as both Triple H and Undertaker would go on to have more matches after this, but they are never this level. It basically just becomes who's going to finally end the streak, and then Triple H going on the authority rampage. That's basically where both of them lead off to. Honestly, this match is a 10 out of 10. Out of principle, really. Some may argue the match itself was lacking in the action department. The story was peaked. The first half was amazing. Second half made sense. I don't see how you can give this match less than a 10 out of 10. Rob agrees, gave this match an A, so that's where it's going to go. 10 out of 10 match. Loved it. It's definitely a highlight of Undertaker's career. It's a highlight of Triple H's career, and honestly, maybe even be a highlight of Shawn Michaels' career, although he's had many highlights. But it's a phenomenal match. Great match. Great conclusion of a 4-story arc. Next up, we have the 12-man tag match. Team John Laurinaitis, involving David Otunga, Dolph Ziggler, Drew McIntyre, Jack Swagger, Mark Henry, and The Miz, versus Team Teddy, Booker T, Kofi Kingston, R-Truth, Santino Marella, The Great Khali, and Zack Ryder. This was an excuse to get 16 to 18 people on the card. You had Hornswoggle involved. You had the Bella Twins involved. You had Eve Torres. Was it Eve Torres? I think it was Eve Torres involved. Yeah, that was really much it. It was just an excuse to get 18 people on the card. It was pretty fucking bad, honestly. Just really shitty. I didn't like this in any capacity. I thought the crowd got into it at the end, but the control system on Booker went way too long for there being 5 other wrestlers they could have done it to. I mean, it's a 6-man tag. Why is one person in the ring for 6 of the 8 minutes this match got? It would effectively doom Raw and SmackDown to suck, because John Laurinaitis ended up winning the rights to both Raw and SmackDown and fucking ruined them. Like I said, I stopped watching wrestling because Raw and SmackDown just nosedived in quality. And now that I'm a little bit older and have a bit more of a conscious thought process on wrestling as a whole, looking back, this match is why it sucked. Because John Laurinaitis was trash. He wasn't a good character. He wasn't a good GM. He wasn't a good booker. He was terrible. Yeah, overall, nothing of substance here except Vince continuing to bury Zack Ryder. 3 out of 10. It was trash. I hated it. Rob didn't quite hate it as much, gave it a 5, so it's going to end up averaging out to a 4, but honestly, I think that is much more giving than it really deserved, because this match was fucking terrible and it doomed Raw and SmackDown, and like I said, not that they care, but it cost me as a viewer, because it just nosedive in quality. Next up, we have CM Punk, who was the champion going in, versus Chris Jericho for the WWE Championship, one in which CM Punk would go on to win. What started off as great storytelling and decent action changed to a pretty honestly dragged out and heartless control segment by Chris Jericho. Occasional action by CM Punk. The third act, though. The third act? Chef's kiss phenomenal. Absolutely great. Excellent drama. Back and forth. Great spots. The code breaker on a diving CM Punk. Amazing timing. The finisher flurry, Punk getting out of the walls, Punk pulling out the Cobra Clutch submission to win the match. One you don't see him do very often, which was a very good creative finish to the match. The ending made the middle worth it, but the middle still hurt the match overall. I gave this match a 7 out of 10. I thought it was great. Rob agrees, gave this match a B, so a 7 out of 10 is where it's going to go. Which is good, because as you can tell, this card is starting to shape up to be some ass. So it needed a good match. So glad we got it here. And finally, The Rock versus John Cena, the main event. Me and Rob have gotten to the point where we kind of talk about the main events a lot, and this is going to be another example of that. We're going to go to our match review here with Tito and discuss The Rock versus John Cena and where we go from here. What's going on, everybody, and welcome to the WrestleMania 28 match review. Once again, here with the main event of
the jabronis.
Oh boy. We're here with John Cena versus The Rock. I'm here with Robert Tito here. First of all, wonderful photo I found for this. Didn't realize Cena was making that face. Have you ever... Never mind. So, we're here to talk about this You knew where I was almost going with that. We're here at the main event here for this match. This is the notes that I had for this match. Very similar to his match against Hogan, this was more about the icon versus icon, atmosphere and hot crowd more than it was about the great wrestling. While what we got was great, Rock pulled out flying elbows, Samoan drops. Cena actually used more than 5 moves. The Rock took advantage of a Cena that was leaning heel, being extremely cocky for a great and interesting ending.
This was the perfect time.
I wish we got to see heel Cena, which we were supposed to see after this match, but Vince killed the idea, unfortunately. As for the match overall, I didn't expect a banger wrestling match because The Rock hasn't wrestled in something like 9 years. But while the ending was good, the work rate was meh, and unlike Rock and Hogan, I wasn't personally oohing and awing over this matchup as I was when I was watching wrestling at the time, because I did not like Cena very much, as has been documented. I did enjoy seeing The Rock win because of that, though, as did the crowd. Vince really had heel Cena on a platter and fumbled it. The crowd would have actually cheered for a heel Cena, ironically. Overall, the match was a 6 out of 10. Story and atmosphere was an 8, so I gave this match a 7.
I'll say that, yes, Vince fumbled heel Cena because this was the prime opportunity.
He was literally leaning heel at the end. When he was about to hit the people's elbow, you could tell by his face it was a cocky Cena we don't see very often.
Yeah, but in the second Rock vs. Cena match, you could tell he was more visibly frustrated, especially when he was throwing his punches. I mean, it wasn't like The Rock wasn't selling. It was based off of the storytelling. Mm-hmm. It was Cena teasing it even more. You know what I mean? I mean, do I think it should have been a year apart? No. It should have been pulled right here at this WrestleMania.
Oh, 100%. He should have, and John Cena has even said in interviews that they had plans for him to go heel after this match right here. Yep. When he lost to The Rock, they had a new theme song prepared. Mm-hmm. He had new ring gear made. Mm-hmm. He was prepared to go full heel after this match. Yep. And they nixed the idea because of his work with Make-A-Wish and stuff like that. It's the same reason they won't pull the trigger and make Bianca Belair heel.
So
in modern times.
So I will say this much.
I love how I say modern times, and this is like 10 years before, but a lot changes in 10 years.
This was right before we were in college.
This is actually the year we went to college, because this was we were in college here. It was April 1st, 2012. We were in college.
We?
Yeah.
Okay.
We were in college at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're aging ourselves here, but we were in college. These were 2 icons, the 2 icons of 2 different eras, colliding into one. Just like I said, just like the Hogan versus Cena match. Uh-huh. But I didn't care about John Cena, so I didn't really care about this match a lot when I watched it live. And then watching it back, knowing, obviously, I know the ending, but it was hard for me to get into this match 100%.
Okay, so going back to the interview where you said that Cena was fully prepared to go heel, they did all this stuff for him, and then he didn't because of the kids. I didn't know that for the longest time up until maybe like 4 years ago, 5 years ago. Mm-hmm. And after that, like...
Well, he just recently talked about the whole new theme song and ring gear. That was like 6 months ago. That was his interview with Chris Van Vliet. Chris Van Vliet, yeah.
I thought I heard the ring gear...
It was rumored before.
Yeah.
But never confirmed. Because he confirmed it on that interview.
They talked about him going back to the Thugonomics. Or something
no,
like
because
that.
he does that in the Bray Wyatt match.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
The Firefly Funhouse match that we'll get to much later.
Yeah.
He goes back to the Thugonomics during that match.
But I will say, when I learned that, my then quote-unquote hatred for Cena, the wrestler, completely changed. Because he is, at the time, was a modern-day Goldberg, in the sense of Goldberg never wanted to go heel because of the kids.
Goldberg was always heel. He was always booed.
I mean, just because he was booed by the fans doesn't mean that he was a bad guy.
No, he was just a shitty wrestler.
Yeah, I mean, he said multiple times, even during his WCW days, the kids loved him. He wrestled because
Well, that's
of
because
the
he was
kids.
good in WCW.
And then he came back to do the whole Lesnar stuff later on. And he said he came back because of the kids.
Mm-hmm.
Whether if it's his own, his grandkids, or the WWE Universe.
Yeah. Anyway, as far as this match goes, really the only good spot is the ending. As far as like major highlight spots for this match, it's the ending.
I mean, I thought it had a lot of good back and forth, but yeah, nothing really stood out from beginning to middle until they started, I guess, just doing some reversals into the go home part of the match.
Yeah. I don't know.
Because the next match is far worse than this one. Like, this one, I gave it a B. The other one, not so much. It was more like a finisher counter fest.
Nice. Anyway, we talked a lot longer last time about Cena and The Miz. We're not going to take up too much time here. Overall, you fumbled heel Cena. I would have loved to have seen it. Now we'll never see it because the man can't go heel now. He's actually cheered when he shows up now, which, ironically. But yeah, that's where we're going to end it, guys. Back to me.
Perfect cinema.
Please go back to me. Welcome back, friends. I hope you enjoyed that conversation with Rob. Yeah, like I said, the combination of story and match, I gave this match a 7. Rob agrees, gave it a B as well. So a 7 is where we're going to put it, which is something this card drastically needed. Again, was another decent match to sort of boost this average, but I don't know if that 10 out of 10 classic is going to save his match. But we're going to find out in just a second. Let me go ahead and do this average. Well, at least on the positive side, the 10 out of 10 at least put this above a 4 or a 5. This match, or this WrestleMania rather, is averaging out to a 5.13 or 5.125. So we'll call it a 5.13. Not terrible. Definitely could have been something a little bit more. Had a couple of these matches either been giving more time, given less time, just not simply happened. Better stories going in. I mean, this is WrestleMania, and this is the best you have. You have a squash match, a classic, a match that you had to throw in randomly, and then you had matches that ultimately didn't really serve a purpose. Big Show got his WrestleMania moment. The Team Johnny versus Team Teddy ruined Raw and SmackDown in general. Women aren't respected at all in these cards at all yet to be given an actual match, so this is what we're stuck with. Not really going to spend any more time on this one, guys. WrestleMania 28, honestly, is one to forget. Like I said, it's the reason I stopped watching, so we will get to tomorrow when we actually get to WrestleManias that I did not watch live. Really excited about that. Really excited to talk to you guys about that, so we will see you then. Till then, y'all have a great night. Peace.